Happy Monday, everyone, and happy birthday, Colleen. It's going to be a great day. We got a nice sprinter for you guys today. It's going to be, it's going to be fast, it's going to be fun. So before we get to that, Colleen, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope you enjoy this special work set for everyone and to embrace that extra special day for yourself. But, you gotta say, plank lean for 2 to down dog, 3 to 5. Floor facing angel with extension, 3 to 5 reps. Humeral glide to knee push-up, 3 to 5, and then arch hold for 10 to 30 seconds. Banking or kind of accumulating any time frame you'd like in that time frame, in that nice arch hold. 2 to 3 rounds there, just sort of waking up the upper back a little bit, waking up and shaking out those burpees from earlier on in the week. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun today, getting that upper body primed. After that, we're gonna get a little bit more dynamic, we're gonna get a little bit more explosive. Back lunge to high knee jump for 20 seconds, single leg RDL for 3 aside, single arm Sumo deadlift for 3 aside, and then we move into 20 to 30 seconds of skipping or a little bit of bounding work, and then we move into our kettlebell swing for 3 to 5 reps, and a plank to bear squat for 3 to 5. Using all of this just to get ourselves ready, warm, fired up and primed up for 3 to 5 rounds to tackle this little sprinter. So what we have for you guys, one time through, we're going to take down 100 double unders or an equivalent, 50 kettlebell swings at a moderate load, and then 25 burpees. Yep, burpees coming back at you beginning of the week, but you only have to do them one time this week, so that's always a win. But one time through, 100 double unders, 50 swings, 25 burpees, done. Attack it, have fun with it, and let's get you ready to go so we can take it down. All right, let's get our feet under our hips and let's just wake up the body a bit. We'll take the arms way up overhead, big stretch. We'll stretch it over to one side. We'll come back over to the other side. Come back up, big scratch at the back and reach through that side body. Come back up, big stretch. Scratch your back and reach through the elbow. Good, big stretch up overhead. Take those arms out to the T. We'll turn them in, turn them out, turn them in, turn them out, turn them in, and out. Good, big reach, big stretch, and forward fold. Touch those toes, walk up those shins, and come down, frame a foot, step her back into our lizard. Nice and square in those hips. We'll take the inside hand up. We'll rotate forearm to the floor, come back up, rotate forearm to the floor, back up, and rotate forearm to the floor, and back up. We'll plant the hand. Outside hand's going to reach up, big stretch. Plant that hand, step back into our down dog, just settling into those shoulders. We'll come back into our plank. Step the other foot up. Nice and square in those hips. Inside hand reaches way up. Rotate forearm to the floor. Come back up. Rotate forearm to the floor. Back up. And rotate forearm to the floor. And back up. We'll plant the hand. Outside hand's going to reach way up. Come back down. Step back into our down dog. Reaching those hips. Come back into that plank. We're going to tiptoe those feet up. And we're going to roll ourselves slowly up, overhead. Big stretch. Bring those hands down. Give yourself a moment. And continue on with your warm-up. So if you'd like to pause the video, take down some more gentle warm-up for yourself. Cat-cows, thread the needles, scap push-ups, anything you'd like to do to give your body that extra little oomph. Take it down, pause that video, and then come back and join me. We're going to focus on a little bit of upper body pressing warm-up and get you ready to go. All right, we're going to start off our day with some plank leans to down dogs. We're just going to start waking up the shoulders. So I'm going to go from the front here for the first one here. So we're going to get our hands under those shoulders, just outside the shoulder width position, pressing the shoulders up and pulling the ribs in. From here, we're going to try and keep our shoulders over our hands as we shift to the side, and then as we shift to the other side, we're going to come back to center and then pull those hips back into that down dog. In that down dog, if you'd like to press a heel and then press a heel and come back into that plank position, you can. Or we can lean again, get that nice position, come back into that down dog. jog, setting up the shoulders, or you can work on that toe touch if you'd like. And then come back into that plank. It's up to you. Whatever you'd like to add into that down dog, you're more than welcome. If you want to just go into the down dog, come back out, also perfectly fine with that as well. So make that down dog yours, have some fun with it. Kind of just, really it's there just to kind of prime up the shoulders, getting that upper back ready for action for what's to come. From there, we're gonna lower down to the floor. We're gonna lay on our stomach and we're gonna work on our floor facing angel with extension. So we're combining two movements with that laying arm extension and our floor facing angel. So our hands are gonna come into this floor position just by my chest outside my shoulders. My elbows, sorry, are kind of stacked right over top of my wrist. I'm gonna pull my ribs and hips in, and then I'm gonna pull my shoulders together, lifting my hands off the floor the best I can. And then from here, I'm gonna press them back, hold for a beat, come back in, and lower down. So the big thing for you guys, I'm gonna come up onto my knees so you guys can see a little bit, maintaining that nice hollow position as we pull the ribs in, squeezing the shoulders together, which is gonna help pull the hands off the floor. And then it's okay as you're pushing those hands back into the extension, if those fingers touch the ground. So keep that in mind. If you have a trouble time getting those hands off the ground, it's gonna be hard to kind of smoothly transition them back. Try and keep them as close to the body as we can as we push them back, but it's okay if those hands kind of touch the floor as we go into that extension. Hold each position for a couple seconds per position in that hold and extension. Coming back in, hold for another spot, just to show control in those positions, and then relax. I like to completely soften in between each rep so I can regain that tension and reassess my body position for each rep. After that, we're gonna move into our humeral glide to knee push-up. So I'm gonna get back on my stomach. I start in the same position, and I'm gonna get my shoulders coming forward where I don't want them at the bottom of a push-up. And then I'm gonna pull the shoulders back, setting my shoulders down and away. My elbows are still stacked over my wrist. I'm gonna pull my ribs in, squeeze my glutes, press to my knees, and I'm in that nice knee plank position. Ribs in, nice hollow, tuck pelvis, and I'm gonna lower forward and down into that bottom position, and then relax and reset the tension in that body position. So shoulders come forward where we don't want them. We set them back, ribs, hips, press, and then I can add in that nice slow negative if I'd like, or I can work on just that nice smooth lower down to the floor, depending on where you're at. The biggest thing with these humeral glides, you guys, we want to make sure when we're pressing, we're keeping everything as one, from the hip crease up to the crown of the head. You want to make sure everything moves together. So if you feel that little separation, just push and lift to that point where you can maintain contact and those ribs pulling in. Even if it's not a full push, just push to that plank position where you can maintain that good hollow, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, then lower back down. We'll build that strength we need for those push-ups better that way by maintaining our position. Now from there, we're gonna stretch ourselves out on our stomach. So from those humeral glides, we're gonna come back out into our plank, or sorry, our laying position. Arms are outstretched to the front, my toes are together, and I'm gonna inhale, reaching my arms and legs as far away from each other as we can. Armpits are down towards the floor. I'm stretching my legs straight, my fingers straight to the front, and I'm gonna hold that long body position for 10 to 30 seconds. Or I'm gonna half and half it, and I'm gonna reach with one side, hold, and then reach with the other side, and hold. So you're gonna work on that unilateral work set, depending if whether or not the double hand, double foot is a little bit too much for my body right now. As a quick little recap for you guys, we have a plank lean for 2, to down dog 3 to 5, floor facing angel with extension for 3 to 5, humeral glide to knee push up for 3 to 5, and an arch hold of 10 to 30 seconds. Banking, accumulating, holding one time through, whatever you need, take that down, and we're gonna hit that for 2 to 3 rounds. So we're just really giving ourselves a good chance to wake up that upper back and that core, working on that good press. Pause it, take it down, you guys, then come join me. We're gonna get a little bit more explosive with the lower body, coming right after this. All right, now that our upper body's really warmed up, we're good to go with the core. We're gonna work on that lower half, still with the upper body as well. but we're gonna work on getting a little bit more explosive. So what we're gonna start off with is a movement we've been kind of working on the past couple of weeks, that back lunge to high knee jump. We're really kind of getting that nice explosive flow from the ground into that little hop. So I'm gonna show you a couple different options for this. First things first though, I'm gonna get myself set up in my squat stance, and that's gonna allow me to have a nice wider stance lunge so I'm a little bit more balanced. I'm gonna step my foot back. The foot that goes back is the hand that's gonna come up in the front here just for explosive purposes. And I'm gonna come up from that lunge into a high knee, or I'm gonna come back up into that high knee hop. So again, with that high knee hop, the momentum is coming from that back leg into that lift. And then my balancing leg is gonna finish with that little pop, that little extension. So we wanna make sure that we're allowing ourselves that opportunity to kind of work through this swing and this lift with this leg. So this foot, this balancing foot, is just finishing the momentum that we get. Also, by pulling this hand forward, the leg that goes back, as I stand up, I use that switch to generate some upper body momentum as well to help that little lift, generating that nice rotational strength in the body. Now you can either choose to do back lunge to balance with that high knee, or back lunge to jump. It's up to you. You'll work 20 seconds per side. If you're looking at that going, oh, I don't know if I want to lunge today, that's okay. We're going to do the same style of movement, but we're going to work on that kind of RDL jump, that back scale release jump. So what I'm going to do is the leg that goes back, I'm going to reach forward with the arm in that nice stacked balanced position, square to the floor, and I'm either come up into that high knee, or I'm going to come forward and get that little whoop, that little lift with that leg coming through. Still working on that rotational movement with the upper body and those arms working in tune with the lower half as well. And I'll just do 20 seconds per leg, working on getting that as a skill, working on that movement flow and getting comfortable with that. So don't worry about how many reps you get. Worry about the quality of reps and the coordination of the upper and the lower body together. After that, we're going to move into our single leg RDL. And I would highly suggest loading this one today if you'd like, or again, you can do this empty-handed, just charging up your glute and hamstring. So I'm going to show you with a dumbbell, the first way if you'd like to kind of load this up. I'm going to get my feet under my hips, I'm going to tuck my toe back, square hips and set, nice and tall through the shoulders. I'm going to pull back into my hip, taking that dumbbell down to just below the knee or to the knee, and stand tall. Or I'm going to hold the dumbbell on the same leg as the kickstand. I'm going to pull that leg back, keeping my weight through that flat foot contact, that balanced midfoot, and stand. Or I'll take the dumbbell to that same leg that's doing the work, taking it down to my knee and stand. All the while, if I'm loading this movement, I'm trying to keep my body square and set, regardless of where I'm holding the dumbbell. We want to make sure we're hinging properly into that nice back position, so we're working on keeping that hip, pulling back at the hip crease, working on that pull back, and that's what hinges the body forward, not just lowering or flexing through the spine. We want to keep that head to hip crease all one piece, all moving as one. You're going to do 3 per side just to prime up those hamstrings and glutes, loaded or unloaded. Then we're going to move into a single arm sumo deadlift. So we're going to move into this to bring the legs together. We've worked individual style. Now we're going to work on double. So standing tall with my feet in my squat stance or a little bit outside that squat stance, it's up to you. I'm going to draw the hips back and down, keeping the chest high as those knees track the toes. I can take the dumbbell all the way to the floor or somewhere below the knee, wherever that feels comfortable for me. Now our goal here is not necessarily depth of dumbbell, but working to our edge that we can maintain our back position, slowly working on getting deeper and deeper over time. But that good hinge position is what we're after, working on finding that back position. So take it to the depth that allows you to find that good back position in that deadlift. So we're just bringing the hips, the back, the body all together as one kind of nice unit after working that individualized piece. Now afterwards, we have our skips. We're going to get a little bit more dynamic and jumpy again. So we have 20 to 30 seconds of skipping or cardio of choice. But if you're like, I don't have a treadmill or a rower or a bike at home, but I can't really skip, but I'd like to hop, we have two variations for you. You can work on your ankle pop. So you're going to bring your feet underneath of your hips, nice and tall. Hands are going to be out to the side like you're doing a double under or a skip with your elbows in tight, shoulders relaxed, and we're going to get that nice little hop. Just like you're skipping, wrists are relaxed, my elbows stay still, my forearms stay still, and I'm just relaxing at the wrists. So I'm going to work on the posture and the body position that I need when I do my skip or my double unders. Also, if you would like to, you can play around with, since we have a kettlebell or a dumbbell involved in this workout, we can work on a lateral or a lateral skip or a lateral step with a low step or a high step. It's up to you. So just working on some lateral movement, getting yourself back and forth over top of your dumbbell safely and effectively. Now once we're done some sort of cardio piece or hopping piece, we're going to move into our kettlebell or dumbbell swing. With this swing, we have three options with the dumbbell. Kettlebell is straightforward. You'll hold by the handle and you'll swing away. But the key here with the dumbbell, we have three different ways to hold it. The swing is the same, like mechanics of the body to get the dumbbell moving and the kettlebell moving, identical, especially with the different ways of holding. It's all the same mechanics, but we just change our grip around. So our first variation is holding the bell with two hands at this position. I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see my back position and hips. We've already grooved our hip and back position in our deadlifts and our RDLs, so it's the same hinging technique. The only difference is I'm going to try and keep my hands above my knees, and I'm going to keep those hips and legs nice and aggressive. So working on that nice back position, those quick hips, allowing that leg drive to do the work, moving the kettlebell or the dumbbell. Now the other option, we can hold the dumbbell like a golf club, right, by the handle, both hands on the handle. The mechanism and the movement is the same. The only difference is you may feel a little limited with your range of motion on this one, depending on how much range overhead you have in those shoulders, because you're a little narrower with your position on the handle. Now the last one, again, I say this all the time, but this is one of my favorite ones, the single arm variation. I've really grown fond of this one with the dumbbell because it does allow us to work on some unilateral work. It also allows us to get some good range of motion with that swing that we might not feel comfortable doing with a kettlebell or two hands on the bell. So I hold with one hand, I get myself set up in that same position, I get that swing going up, and you can take the kettlebell or dumbbell, any height you like, so shoulder height, right overhead, but I find a lot of people with the single, they allow and they feel a little bit more confident taking it right overhead, more so because it's very similar finish position to what we do for a push press or a shoulder press or a jerk. It's the same similar feeling to that overhead position with that swing. So play around with them. Even if you plan on doing one specific way for the workout, play with some of those different options in the warm-up. It just gives you a chance to really experiment and work on some different skills. Last but not least, we're going to come back to our upper body and our legs with our plank to bear squat for 3 to 5 reps. So I'm going to get myself set up in my plank position again, but my feet are set up a little wider. So we'll hip to shoulder. I'm going to pull my ribs in, press through the shoulders, and I'm going to pull my hips straight back in between my ankles, and I'm going to push straight forward into that plank. Now I'm trying to think about equal weight between the pinky and the thumb as I push those hands into the floor to get that good shoulder position like we do in our down dog, but it's a little bit more pressure and shoulder engagement necessary to stay stable in that bear squat. So really focus on that pressure down with the hand, that active push down with the hand as we get that nice active shoulder. Take your time, hold per position for a couple seconds just to own it, but you don't have to overkill how long you stay in the bear squat. Quick little recap of that warm set. We are going to do a back lunge to high knee jump for 20 seconds per side, or one of those other options I listed out. Single leg RDL, loaded or unloaded for 3 per side. Single arm sumo deadlift for 3 per side. Skip, 20 to 30 seconds, or one of those options we had for the skip. Kettlebell swing for 3 to 5, or dumbbell swing. Plank to bear squat, 3 to 5 reps for 3 to 5 rounds, or whatever amount of rounds it's going to get you ready to hit this work set. The work set is pretty short, so it allows you to kind of play around with a slightly longer warm-up if you'd like to add some stuff in there for yourself or do a few extra rounds. Pause the video, take that down. We're going to talk about one of the movements specific that we haven't covered yet in our workout, but we're going to go through that workout right now. The workout is upon us. We have 1 time through 100 double unders, or 100 to 200 single unders, or some other options that are at the bottom of the workout description. So check that out. Depending on what you have access to, I'll have some different options there as well. Then you're going to move into 50 kettlebell swings or dumbbell swings, holding that dumbbell any way you'd like. If you're doing a single arm, it's just a total count of 50, breaking down those swings. I would say every 5 is a nice number. It's right before you get too tired with one arm, but if you'd like to go a little bit bigger sets, you can, but 5 has a nice clean breakdown for the 50. And then you have 25 burpees to close out the day with. And we're going to cover the burpee right now. We covered the humeral glide to knee push-up, and I want you guys to remember those points of performance we're looking for in that humeral glide to knee push-up drill into our burpee. So our full burpee, I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see. I come down with the hands, I jump my feet back, lower down, and I finish with my little clap. Or I can come down, I can step and lower, jump in, or I can step and lower, step in, or any combination of those movements. Stepping back, stepping in, jumping, whatever you want to do. Mix and match, find the burpee flow that works for you the best. That's going to give you and allow you to maintain that nice tight core and that good stacked elbow position. So we want to really make sure we're keeping that elbow stacked over top of the wrist, and we're hitting that tripod through the head and the hands. Our other option for the burpee is the non-push-up variation, which is the squat thrust. So what we're going to do for the squat thrust, we come down, shoulders stay over the hands, I pop into a plank, I jump it in, or I bring the hands down, step it back, step it in, or any combination of those two things to create that squat thrust that works for you. Now remembering, you can do any of these squat thrust options too with an elevated surface, just like we do our push-ups. If you want to put your hands on an ottoman, a chair, a countertop, whatever it happens to be, but we want to make sure we're keeping that shoulder over the hand the whole time, and that nice tight midsection, so we don't get that sway back or sway hip. So take the time to hit those reps really well. You only have 25 of them at the end. You're going to come at them relatively fatigued. So attack them with the best of your ability and just try and pick a pace so you can just keep moving so you don't have to rest too much. I hope you guys enjoy this fast gasser, you guys. It's going to be a gasser for sure, but tackle it, have some fun, really focus in on that back position during those kettlebell swings. And as always, work for quality, have a ton of fun today. We're kickstarting off the week a nice fast and aggressive way, and we're going to build you guys up to that nice 21.3 at the end of the week, in the end of the Open. The last week of the Open's upon us. So we're going to get you guys ready and have some fun. Happy birthday, Colleen. I hope you have a great day. Everyone out there, have a great day. Let me know how this goes. I'm always interested to hear how you guys take these things down. Bye, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.